Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production for Gorecom, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out news. Guys, for those of you who understand two things, that the global water and wastewater treatment market is going to blow up because so much of the world is under critical water stress in the upcoming years. I mean, we've seen news about it out of California, Vegas. We see it all over again. Then you're going to love this interview with Howie Hunneman. He's the president and CEO of Forward Water Technologies, trades in Canada, FWTC. The market for global water wastewater treatment projected to go from $285 billion in 2021 to $500 billion in 2030. It's absolutely massive. The exact number why, over 40% of the global population resides in those critical water stress zones right now. So the treatment of water, wastewater is necessary for mankind, literally, to meet the increased demand for water. This is not an option. Enter Forward Water Technologies. They're just not talking the talk, they're walking the walk. First of all, they're founded by Green Center Canada. That's a leading tech innovation center supported by the government of Canada. Their proprietary forward osmosis technology allows industrial users to reduce water consumption by up to 90%. Those aren't messing around numbers, 90%. So the immediate benefits you can understand, they're saving water from being permanently destroyed. That's a big one. And large reductions in their operating expenses. What's the market they're targeting? It isn't you and me at home. It's large-scale implementation in multiple sectors: industrial wastewater, oil and gas, lithium. We're going to talk about that because one of their major initiatives in the lithium space, they've got over 14 NDAs signed with major lithium extraction companies. We're going to talk about some of those as an update here. In India, they've already got exclusive licensee with Goldfinch Engineering over there. And even in the food and beverage space, believe it or not, where you figure, where does this come in? Some of their recent research has illustrated a patent pending concept, which is now being scaled to engineering demonstration levels. And what does that mean, right? A lot of us watching this, what does that mean? Well, they've already got a $100,000 grant in partnership with the Canadian Food Innovation Network. So somebody realizes that they've got great technology. Howie, welcome back, my friend.
Hi, George. It's great to be here. It's a great pitch you've got. I should bring you into the organization.
You know, we might do well if we work together at the end of the day. I might know a thing or two.
Awesome.
Hey, the big thing, first of all, congratulations, Q3 came out, and congratulations on the major milestone there, where you recognized it was about $30,000 in revenue. But more importantly, what that means, it's the first significant commercial revenue for the company in anticipation of a lot more coming.
Thank you very much, George. Yeah, you're right. It's I'm going to be perfectly frank. It's humble revenue, but what I'd like to point out is it's real revenue. This isn't, returns from government grants or anything like this. This is not taking the empty bottles back to the LCBO. This is money where clients are putting down significant, non-trivial amounts of money just to see if our technology will work for them, right? So this is real commitment. This shows skin in the game, and this is just the beginning, right? This is just the leading edge of the main effort. And these are behind by a quarter. We're progressing on all of those accounts, so it's leading into really good information for the client. The client's seeing the benefit and is moving to next steps. So we're really excited by that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you differentiated that, because if we're at the point where George Com is paying you in order to have you test wastewater, water samples, mineral recovery processes from using your technology, that means you've gone a long way in the relationship. You're way beyond talk. You've shown enough data for George Com to be interested, and now I'm paying you for testing. So I want to be clear, these aren't full contractual, but more importantly, it means people are paying you for it. So you're significantly down the road now.
Yeah, so you're right. This sales cycle is not a trivial sales cycle. It takes a lot of initial contact, discussion, making sure our technology fits, making a proposal, modeling for these clients. So we've had long-term relationships with all of these clients, and they're saying, "Yeah, this all lines up. Let's see if it goes on the table." And we're like, "Okay, but there's a cost associated with that." And they're like, "Fine, sign us up." We give them a proposal and move forward. And one of the contracts we did do was a larger engineering scale trial with one of our leading customers, our sort of our most developed customers, was Cornish Lithium, and we did a large scale trial for them. They shipped us at their cost over 2,000 liters of water from England to Ontario. So they're not only incurring our charges, but they're incurring those types of shipping costs. It's
That's
not
not
cheap to ship
cheap. That's
water.
pretty
Yeah,
expensive, send that
yeah,
much water over the Atlantic Ocean.
yeah. So, this is the level of commitment, and these are very proprietary, assets for them. It is their gold mine. It's their ore, if you will, that they're shipping to us for our analysis. So it's a committed evaluation for sure.
So by the way, how'd that evaluation go? Are you able to tell us anything about it? Or is it still too early? Where are you?
We were very pleased with the results. That's for sure. And Cornish Lithium, we've presented those results to Cornish Lithium. They see the value that our technology can bring to their system, and we're evaluating next steps with them, right? Which would lead to, hopefully, if all things come together, at least an on-site pilot demonstration in the United Kingdom, which would then matriculate into full-scale commercial operations. So yeah, we're very positive on it.
Any North American small cap investor can help but see that the critical mineral space, and specifically lithium, is just racing along at a breakneck pace and that's all for electric vehicles. So that's the big catalyst for you. So you've got over a dozen NDAs signed with some major lithium extraction companies. I know you can't give us specifics, but how are those progressing? And you just talked about Cornish Lithium. We know you have a prominent Western Canadian lithium company to further optimize their lithium isolation. How is the macro pushing your pipeline along?
So it is difficult to state the stampede and the churn that is going on in this industry, but that's actually turning out to our benefit. We're expanding our leads. There's a race going on. So for us, we're providing, I've said this before, in this brine sourcing of lithium, we're providing a ubiquitous tool, a shovel for the gold rush, if you will. And that's having utility to almost every single player in the lithium brine processing space. So for us, we've got advanced discussions with both the end user, the client, such as Cornish Lithium, whom we're allowed to disclose, but also with other providers or people who have assets, but also with the people who are aiding in developing the overall process train. And that is working with the DLE providers, the people who have the technology that allows them to isolate the lithium. They need additional processes to support them both pre-lithium isolation and post-lithium isolation. So we're working with those providers as well to sell full process trains to the people who have lithium assets. So we're selling to the end clients in some cases. We're selling to the people who are making a full process train or collaborating with them to make a full process train. And we're seeing, rapid evolution of this, and this will, we believe this will lead to commercial contracts in the very, very near future.
Well, and that's what I was about to go to. So we know that they're all going to have to start going commercial on their end, which means they're going to have to make decisions on whether they bring you in or not. And we're hoping, and it looks like they have every reason to. And you just kind of tipped a little bit there, just with a look. Where ballpark, again, that can't pin you down. Is it sometime in Q4, Q3, Q2, where you think you might start getting some decisions made? I
think all of these companies that are promoting the access to lithium or the delivery of lithium to the battery makers, they've all been carefully assessing how they're going to do it. But the race to be on the field first and actually producing and sending lithium, that timeline is tightening up very, very closely. Some of these are private companies, some of them are public. They've made commitments. They're going to have to achieve their timelines, much like everybody else in this space, which means they've got to move to buy decisions really quickly. And I think, they're going to want to be producing lithium. Some of them have said at the end of 23, early 24. So if you're going to be able to achieve that, you have to be on site with your equipment, the first half or third quarter of this year, right? So, and then to make that equipment show up on site, you got to start placing POs. So I think what's going to happen is one of these companies is going to make the decision to go commercial and actually make and design and implement their process trains. And then everybody's got to follow, because you don't want to be left behind in the dust. If you're not producing lithium, all these other companies that are producing lithium are going to get all the commercial attention, both from an investment standpoint, a stock position standpoint, and a client standpoint, right? All the people who need the lithium chloride or the lithium carbonate are going to be knocking at their doors, and the people who haven't made commitments are going to be, they're going to be left in the lurch.
Your biggest problem in the future may be too many customers heading into your door at the exact same time, which is a great problem to have.
Yeah, it is. It's the grocery store selling supplies before the storm comes in, right? That's the kind of situation we might be in. It's not bad, but it'll be crazy. Crazy good, but it'll still be crazy.
Let's talk about other applications, because
Yeah.
look, if we just ended the interview right there, that's an amazing company overview, company maker, a lot of irons to fire, huge industry. I think everyone would be happy. But you've got other applications. You've got wastewater, you've got food and beverage. Maybe because we focus on lithium a lot, let's talk a little bit about those other applications as well.
Yeah, so that's true. I mean, we handle salty water, and salty water is, now very apparent in the lithium space, but it's also an industrial issue as well, brine management. We're actually working with a large engineering company in the United States to deliver a beverage company a wastewater treatment pathway. So we're delivering to the end client, who's a large beverage manufacturer. They are in the state of California, and they have a waste stream from the production of their beverage lines that they need to deal with, and we're providing them with a unique solution by collaborating with an engineering company in the U.S. to deliver this solution. And so they're going to be able to reduce the amount of water they discharge to the sewer system. They're going to be able to limit their costs, because they have to pay the municipality a fee to discharge. That's going to be reduced for them. We're going to be able to return clean water back into their operations, which they're also very excited about, reducing their water footprint. And so this is along the main theme that the company was founded on, being able to reduce in costs, return clean water for operations, and provide that benefit to the end user. So yeah, that's at the final proposal stage at this point, and we're hopeful that we'll get buy-off from the client. Yeah.
I'm just gonna take a guess here, and again, you probably can't answer, but it's that I can't help myself. It's California. Is this a wine? Is this when you say beverage?
No.
Is it a wine? Is it a winemaker?
No, this is actually this is a non-alcoholic beverage production. But we could very well get tied into the wine production industry, the wastewater that comes from just washing the vessels as a starting point. So waste is one of the things we've been looking at in general. That's the nature of the company. But we've also managed to look at adapting the technology for food and beverage concentrates. And that's, instead of looking at the water handling as a waste issue, would there be benefit to being able to concentrate the food products by extracting the water without damaging the value or the quality of the food product? And as we've been doing that as well. That's more in the research phase, but we're having good success there, and we're moving that.
Well, you got $100,000 grant from the CFIN, which means you're not just dreaming about something and throwing spaghetti in the wall and see what sticks.
No, of course we had to qualify for that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we had to qualify for that. They had their experts. They looked at it. It was a proposal at that stage. On the technology modification we had to do, we apparently checked their boxes, and we got that grant. We've been acting on that. We've now moved into stage 2, which is going to get us into the larger scale engineering trials, which is really exciting. And we hope to develop a whole new business around providing cold concentrate food products that could be an entirely different type of product than we see on our store shelves today.
And to give people a little insight of that is, you'd be looking to almost turn the whole process upside down. That currently they've got a geothermal concentration, heat that concentrate. You're looking at replacing this with your cold process, right?
Yeah. So that's right. So let's just take orange juice as something everybody understands. You take orange juice and you basically evaporate the water out of it by treating it with heat. You get a concentrate, and that's great because it's inexpensive to transport. But you've changed the flavor, and I think everybody would recognize that juice from concentrate doesn't taste the same as fresh juice. This is an opportunity for us to concentrate that juice, provide the transport savings and ultimately the product price point, but maintain the quality of the fresh product, right? And so not only do you get a concentrate, but you get the flavor of fresh, freshly squeezed juice. That's fantastic. But it goes the next step. If you can concentrate other things and maintain the flavor, take coffee. If you can maintain the flavor and essence of the coffee without damaging it and turn it into a flavoring concentrate, now you've got a concentrate that can differentiate your products on the grocery store shelves, where you've got this rich caffeine or coffee aroma in your granola bars, which the competitors can't match. And so we're looking at applications for extracts, flavoring options as that as well, which is a whole new product line that food manufacturers have never had access to. So we could be producing unique syrups and flavorings and compounds like that would enable a new differentiation on the store shelf. So,
last question. This is real crystal ball stuff, but if everything goes well, and it seems like you've got a decent shot at that, because, and I don't want to say better than that, because we don't want to tell people, hey, it's a certainty, right? But it seems like you're really going down a great path. Could you see the company at one point being, lithium extract, spitting out like the lithium extract side, the wastewater treatment side, the food and beverage side, or would you just keep it just one big mass conglomerate and just have three powerful divisions?
I think the right answer to that is we would do what makes the most sense, both from a value standpoint for the company and for shareholders ultimately.
All right.
But the businesses, but you touch on an important point. If we can mature those businesses even a little bit, they're substantially different businesses, right?
They really are different businesses.
And so I think
they require their own expertise, their own channels, their own tunnels.
Is we have a parent company, which may be Forward Water Corporate, for lack of a better term, and then we have reporting divisions, where we've got the mineral recovery division, which would potentially handle lithium, but also mining. We have the industrial division that handles industrial wastewaters for manufacturing. And then we have the food and beverage division, uniquely supplying to their clients. And it's an entirely, each of those groups has an incredibly different set of end clients. So you really need them to focus on a way that those industries use the language that those industries speak, be sensitive to the things that those industries have. Some of them might be more ESG sensitive than others. Others may be looking for carbon recovery credits in a more focused way. And so you really need to develop the businesses a little differently.
Yeah, so, and I'll tell you, putting on my corporate mind, I'll tell you where, and you've been there before, so I'm going to teach you something different, but you may have to do that at some point, just because when you're financing those operations to expand, you may have George Comm, the investor, says, hey, I really want to invest in the lithium side, and I really want to give you funding. And albeit the wastewater and the food and beverage side might be great, that's not my wheelhouse, and I don't want to invest in all of that. So, or it might be on the food and beverage side, and say, I want to really give you money to drive this food and beverage side, but I don't want it to be part of it. So you may have to at some point. And that's a great problem to have.
100%, right? And I mean, I'm a retail investor as well, just, on the side. I've got my, my little side hustles going. I focus on industries that I know and that I'm comfortable with. I don't necessarily want to invest in, mining if I don't understand the mining business. I'd want to invest in the food and beverage business because I get that. I know how that works. So yeah, you probably want to make it an a la carte situation from the investment perspective and fundraising. So yeah, that's absolutely correct. I think the characteristics of those industries are different enough that you'd want to make sure there's some type of division. What that division is, I can't say, because we'll have to see what makes sense at the time.
Forward food concentrate, forward lithium, forward. Yeah, it could be good. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but it's good to sometimes look the crystal ball down the road, because not very many companies are in your position where they have three real verticals in front of them, and maybe more, but at least three really solid ones.
I think so, though, having that vision and having that understanding is going to guide decisions now. And I think you don't want to lock yourself into any particular hard direction, but you want to be aware that those are coming up, right? And I think those are all viable, separate verticals, if you will, silos. I don't like the term silo, but because I'm sure there's going to be cooperative efforts between them, but divisions. And I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think we're approaching the one for mineral recovery pretty quickly, where we may need to grow the business, and then when appropriate, bring in the expertise in the mining and mineral recovery arena, so we have credibility on the street side, if you will, working within that industry. Not that the guys that I have on board now don't understand that industry, but you want to make sure you build a team that's
Yeah, of
appropriate
course.
for mineral recovery or food and beverage or industrial waste and whatever makes sense.
Because that's what's going to happen, which is knock on wood, good luck, but that it gets there, but that's what's going to happen. And by the way, for anybody watching at home or listening on Spotify or podcast for the first time, and you don't know Howie, he's a PhD, chemistry, materials expert, more than 20 years in new tech development with more than 50.
Don't hold that against
US,
me, yeah.
more than 50 patents, and this is your third early stage company. So this isn't just, hey, who's this Howie guys? He's trying to see what sticks on the wall. You've been through this, and look, I have fun saying that, but I think it's important to say that, Howie, because you understand this is your third early stage company. You understand the process and what it takes to get there. You can't just have a dream, hope and pray, show up on Shark Tank, hope you get a deal. That's not the way reality works. You've been through this before.
Yeah, I wish it did. I wish the Shark Tank version of which was the way things really worked. But yeah, it's a journey, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to close this one up as well as the others I have. Also, I'm looking forward to it as well. I think what I really like about this business, by the way, though, is I think from the previous two experiences, this one's got a real impact, not only on the financial return potential, but also from an ESG perspective.
Yeah,
this is something
that
can impact 300 billion cubic meters of industrial wastewater is used every year. 300 billion cubic meters. Only 50% of that is treated. Rest is just thrown away. And that's all harvested out of the 1% of volume of water that humans get to use because it's fresh water, naturally occurring fresh water. Being able to impact that is motivating me every day. So I'm lucky enough that I've been through two grinds, going through this third grind, but this one has an extra benefit that's really motivating.
Yeah, how it is. I've been in this business for over 25 years. It takes about 10 minutes to figure out who's just full of hot air. George Com widgets. Hey, if I get 1% of the widget world, I make $1 billion. Those stories, they're just all talk. And companies like yours that are really walking the walk, man. And again, I want to be careful for everyone at home. You got to get financial advice. You got to get advice. We're not giving you advice, but I've been around long enough to know who's got a real shot at really making something happen and who doesn't. And there's no doubt about Howie, that you guys are growing an amazing company there. Can't wait to have you back, my friend.
George, look forward to all these conversations every time. So yeah, I hope to be back shortly.
For everybody at home, you've been watching or been listening to my podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, your favorite podcast platform, to Howie Honeyman, President and CEO at Forward Water Technologies, trades in Canada, FWTC. We know for a lot of you, this is relatively new technology, even though we've seen this before, different applications. So to start your due diligence, get the company's profile page on Agoracom. And then once you've got that under your belt, head straight to the company's website, do your deep dive. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. See you next time. Hey guys, the video's over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and even leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our YouTube channel so you never miss another great Agoracom small cap video.